Most guys hear the phrase vibrational energy and immediately tune out. They picture crystals, incense, burning sage, and people sitting cross-legged pretending to have magic powers. They think of the New Age community throwing around buzzwords they don't actually understand. Let's cut through that garbage right now. We are going to strip away the fluff, the mysticism, and the internet trends, and look at the brutal, undeniable reality of what it actually means to have a frequency, a vibration, and a presence as a man. Your vibration isn't some invisible aura glowing around your body. It is the undeniable physical weight of your presence. It is the exact feeling people get in their gut when you walk into a room. It is the way a room shifts when you speak, the way people either look away or hold your gaze, the level of respect you command without having to open your mouth. And right now, if you are constantly draining your life force for 3 seconds of cheap pixels on a glowing screen in a dark room, your presence is completely hollow. You are a ghost occupying a physical body. You know the exact feeling I am talking about. Let's not pretend. It is that heavy, miserable exhaustion that hits you exactly 3 seconds after a relapse. The screen goes dark, the tabs close, and the reality of what you just did crashes down on you. It is the immediate drop in your stomach, the cold realization that you traded your highest biological and spiritual currency for absolutely nothing. Think about the next day. Think about how you walk through the world after you have completely emptied yourself. You walk into a coffee shop or a grocery store and you suddenly cannot hold eye contact with the cashier. You look at the floor. You mumble. Your voice sits higher in your throat, thin and weak. There is a subtle desperation, a hidden, creeping shame that bleeds into your posture. Your shoulders round forward. You shrink. You are subconsciously trying to take up less space in the world because deep down, your spirit knows you have conquered absolutely nothing. You have been conquered. That right there, that exact physical and mental state, is what a low vibration actually is. It is not bad luck. It is not negative energy from the universe. It is the biological and spiritual state of a man operating from total, absolute bankruptcy. You have emptied your energetic bank account, and now you are trying to write checks you cannot cash. To understand why this happens, we have to stop looking at modern internet advice and turn to the ancient world. Thousands of years ago, long before the internet, long before the hypersexualized modern matrix we live in, ancient Indian philosophy and Ayurvedic medicine mapped this out with terrifying accuracy. They didn't view reproductive fluid as just a biological byproduct. They understood it as the physical manifestation of your life force. They called the preservation of this energy brahmacharya, and the end result of it ojas. In their teachings, your body is an alchemical laboratory. Everything you consume, everything you experience goes through a massive, exhaustive filtration process. According to these ancient texts, it takes days, sometimes weeks, for the food you eat to be transformed into blood, then into muscle, then into fat, bone, and marrow. And at the very end of that massive chain of biological labor, the absolute most refined, concentrated, and potent essence of your vitality is created. That is your reproductive energy. It is the physical distillation of your life force. When that energy is retained, digested, and absorbed back into the system, it becomes ojas. Ojas is your spiritual armor. It is your immunity, your mental clarity, your courage, and your literal physical glow. It is the reserve fuel tank that a man draws upon when life gets incredibly hard. Now look at the modern man. Look at what you are doing when you throw that away daily, or sometimes multiple times a day. You are forcing your body and your mind into a constant state of panic. Your system is frantically working overtime just to rebuild the baseline. You are taking the most precious, refined energy your body can possibly create, and you are spitting it out into a tissue. When your body is constantly scrambling to replenish its lowest baseline of survival, you have absolutely nothing left over for greatness. You have no energy for ambition. You have no energy for courage. You have no energy to stand your ground in a conflict. You become passive, agreeable, weak, and tired. This is the brain fog guys talk about on forums. It is your brain operating on reserve power because you keep pulling the plug on the main generator. You are a king, willingly choosing to live like a beggar, trading your kingdom for a few seconds of pathetic dopamine. The Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome understood this exact trap, even if they used different words. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." He understood that the ultimate slavery is not being in literal chains. The ultimate slavery is being a prisoner to your own base desires. If a glowing rectangle in your pocket can make you isolate yourself, drop your pants, and drain your own life force, you are not a free man. You are a slave. You are an addict. You are entirely controllable. The modern world wants you this way. A man who is drained, ashamed, and constantly seeking his next hit of cheap pleasure is a man who will not fight back. He will not build. He will not conquer. He will just consume. He will buy the junk food. He will watch the trash entertainment. He will accept a mediocre life because he literally lacks the spiritual fire to demand anything better. But what happens when you stop? What happens when you look in the mirror, recognize the pathetic cycle you are in, and say, "No more"? When you lock that energy in and refuse to negotiate with the weakest part of your mind, something massive begins to shift. Let's be brutally honest about this process. It is not going to be a magical fairy tale. The internet lies to you about this. They tell you that if you stop for 7 days, you will suddenly become a millionaire and women will flock to you in the streets. That is not how reality works. When you first stop, you are going to hit a wall. You are going to enter what the forums call the flat line. Your brain, which has been bathing in artificial, unearned dopamine for years, is going to panic. It is going to scream at you. You will feel dead inside. You will feel depressed, anxious, and irritable. You might lose your libido entirely for a few weeks. Good. Let it happen. This is the withdrawal. This is your brain resetting its receptors. This is the pain of weakness leaving your nervous system. You have to pay the toll. You have been borrowing happiness from your future for years, and now the debt collector is here. You sit in that fire and you do not break. As you push through that darkness, the energy begins to accumulate. And here is the most critical part, the part that 90% of men fail to understand. That energy cannot just sit there. Semen retention is not about just sitting in your room, vibrating and doing nothing. If you build up a massive amount of pressurized energy and you don't give it an outlet, it will destroy you. It will turn into anger, anxiety, insomnia, and eventually, a massive relapse. You are building a nuclear reactor inside your body. You have to connect it to a grid. This is the process of transmutation. If you force that raw, primal energy upward through absolute discipline, it undergoes alchemy. You take the desire that was meant to create a physical child, and you use it to create a new version of yourself. You take that frustration and you put it into the iron at the gym. You take that restless energy and you pour it into building a business, mastering a skill, or studying philosophy. You force your mind into submission. You stop letting your thoughts wander into the gutter. When the urge hits, and it will hit like a freight train, you do not fight it. You acknowledge it, you feel the raw power of it, and you physically move that power into your life's work. When you do this consistently, months down the line, the magnetism that guys whisper about becomes your daily reality. It isn't a magic spell. It is simply the reality of a man who is no longer walking around empty. You are operating from a state of overflowing energy. When your cup is full, it spills over into the world. Your eye contact becomes piercing. Why? Because you have absolutely nothing to hide. There is no shame lurking behind your eyes. You know exactly what you do when no one is watching and you are proud of it. Your voice drops and steadies. Why? Because your nervous system is no longer shattered by constant dopamine spikes. Your mind is finally calm, heavy, and grounded. You move slower. You speak with intention. You become a grounded, unshakable force in a chaotic world. People subconsciously feel this. They cannot explain it logically, but their biology recognizes it. Women recognize the presence of a man who is not desperately trying to take anything from them. Men respect the presence of someone who possesses self-mastery. Because in a modern world full of boys walking around in men's bodies, constantly draining themselves into oblivion, a man who has mastered his deepest, most primal urge stands out like a lighthouse in the dark. He is awake, he is dangerous, he is entirely in control. This is the choice in front of you. You can close this video, go back to your old habits, and continue to be a ghost. You can continue to walk through life with a hollow chest, a weak voice, and a mind clouded by shame. You can keep giving your life force away to people on a screen who don't know you exist and wouldn't care if you died tomorrow. Or you can wake up. You can embrace the pain of discipline. You can guard your ojas like it is the most valuable resource on the planet because it is. You can transmute that primal fire into building a life of undeniable power, stoic calmness, and absolute respect. Stop trading your highest vitality for absolutely nothing. Hold it. Transmute it. Walk into the room and let the world feel the undeniable weight of your presence.